This video is going to show you Solo Flawless Master Presage mission during the Season of the Lost, a couple of weeks before Witch Queen. For those that just want to see the run, then skip the timestamps you have available to you. Other than that, I can show you my mods, weapons and all that stuff. So this mission Presage is going to get sunset when Witch Queen comes out, which is 6 weeks away. So a lot of items that are tied to this activity will go away. So I'm just going to focus those. I'm not going to talk about Dead Man's Tale because obviously, you know, I'm not sure what they're doing with Dead Man's Tale. I can't mind what they said, whether they're giving you another source to get that or it's getting put in the kiosk. I can't mind. I don't read everything that Bungie writes. I don't. But I do know for certain that the certain items like the Shell of Gilgamesh, right? This is an exotic ghost that's tied to the mission. This will go away when Witch Queen comes out. Presage gets sunset. This ghost will go away. It takes 3 weeks to get the ghost. There's 6 weeks left. So make sure that if you want this ghost, you do it. It's a 3-week rotation. Just look up a video on how to do that. The scannables that you've got to scan, and there's 3 sets of those. You do the 3 sets, you get this ghost. And then there's also an emblem. That's a bit more important to me. If I didn't have this emblem, I would be going for it right now. It requires a flawless run on Master Presage. That can be team or solo, but this is a video focusing solo, right? So that's what the emblem looks like. I'm wearing it. It's one of the best looking emblems in the game in my eyes. So if you haven't got it, I would recommend you go and get it. It's very important. So those are the 2 things I just wanted to bring up. But other than that, this setup's going to be it's not a serious run. This, so just so you know that, don't take it too seriously. I'm just sort of messing around with new stuff. So there's 2 elements I want for this video. Number 1, a shoulder charge video on a Titan, and number 2, using Forerunner, using a triple grenade build. Those are the 2 elements I wanted. So there's multiple ways I could have done this, right? I could have went Sunbreaker, I could have went Behemoth, I could have went Sentinel, you know, I could have went double fusion grenade if I wanted. You know, fusion grenades are insane. But ultimately I wanted to use this build because shoulder charge got a buff, and I want to use a triple grenade build. Top 3 Striker Titan allows for 2 grenades without any exotic, right? So that's key. I'm using that with Pulse Grenade, Tower and Barricade, and we paired that with the exotic helmet, the Skullfort, Insurmountable Skullfort. So you get grenade energy off arc melee abilities, but for every time you kill an enemy, you get your arc melee instantly back, as long as you get a kill on it, right? This is a classic build from 2017, and it's now actually good when you are at power on an activity. If you are below power, like in GMs, it's not good. At power, master difficulty stuff, you can use this setup. It's not a problem to use it. So the triple grenade build works like this. We use Forerunner. We've got the catalyst, which gives us the rock, which states that when we get a kill, we do a longer reload, which then consumes 6 bullets. You then get an additional grenade, a fragmentation grenade, which is essentially a kinetic grenade, which I'll talk more about in the run. So we get that, but that combines with your class ability grenades. So I have 2 grenades on here, 1 grenade from here when I use the rock, so I've got triple grenade build. As I said, I could use the Armentarium. I know people are going to say use Armentarium. I understand that, but I want to use the shoulder charge build and not Peregrine. I want to use Skullfort. So the mods are like this. We've got a hands on our helmet, so we get super regen on melee kills. Linear fusion rifle ammo finder, shield break charge. A melee well maker, impact induction, which gives us grenade ability energy on a melee attack, which is all the time for this build. Solar damage resistance, concussive dampener, font of wisdom, high energy fire, a fusion rifle, a linear fusion rifle scavenger with a sidearm scavenger. Elemental charge, particle deconstruction. So what does all that mean? Well, it means I'm going to get charge of light multiple times for high energy fire via our melee well maker, and a shield break charge. And we also get charge of light via the well because we've got elemental charge on. So it's insane, this build. You'll see it in the run. And as I said, I was using the exotic sidearm Forerunner, the Battler pulse rifle. That's new. It's solar. And then threaded needle with Vorpal weapon and a boss spec in it. That was the setup. As we load in, we'll immediately turn to our left. Obviously, we'll start with the jump puzzle as quickly as possible. He's on master, so we're timed with that 25-minute timer. We actually get less than 25 minutes. For whatever reason, you load. While it's loading, you actually lose seconds. Not that it matters too much if you know what you're doing with this mission. So we're just making our way through the outside of the ship. Just doing the jumps like so. And we can use our shoulder charge here to gain a bit of time here and there. As they've done a bit of buffs with shoulder charge, so the way it activates, it takes less time to activate. The aim assist of the shoulder charge is better. I'm not going to go into the percentages and stuff. And there's a 25% damage buff to it, to shoulder charge. This is a big deal. This means that top tree striker is now usable, as I said, as long as you're at power. So if an activity is 13, so say you go into a master nightfall, you should be able to one-shot those orange bars. Not champions, obviously, with Peregrine Graves and things like that. You have a better chance of doing stuff like that, but I'm talking about for ad clear. For ad clear of this subclass, it's now, because of that 25% damage bonus, it's now sort of usable in endgame stuff, but not usable for GMs, because you're not going to be able to, I don't know if you'll one-shot a red bar. I would probably say you won't. But not only that, you also blind enemies on hit with the shoulder charge. So that's, you don't need an exotic for that, it just blinds enemies. So that's really good as well. And you gain a lot of grenade energy. I've got impact induction on my gauntlets. So when I get a melee hit or kill, I gain grenade energy from impact induction and the intrinsic perks of top tree striker. So just making our way through the ship. This is, I'm not going to provide exact commentary on all the routing, just follow on screen where I'm going. Right, if you're not used to doing the solo flawless on, or you know, the solo of this mission, and you don't know the routing, practice it on normal, then do your master. Right, just practice the routing so you know it like the back of your hand. Because this, as I said, this run with it being timed, you need to be on the ball with exactly when you're doing levers, which way to go. Because if you do lose the time when you get to the final boss, I would recommend you want, for any player that's never done this, you want at least 10 minutes for the final boss, especially on a loadout like I've got. I mean, my setup, as I said, it isn't the most optimal, right? Lament would be far better, even Anarchy, Witherhoard. There's so many better, more choices for this mission in particular that you could use. But as I said, I'm just trying out this triple grenade setup, and I felt I was wanting to do it in something. And this particular Nightfall this week doesn't have Unstoppables in it, Exodus Crash, so I didn't want to use Forerunner in that. So I opted just picking something, so I ended up picking up Presage, because it's getting sunset anyways. For the fuses, I'll just provide a couple of tips on that to make this a little bit easier. The fuses are random, they're in random vents, so I jump up in the air and I'm multitasking, I'm looking for the fuses while dealing with the Screebs. Don't kill the Screebs, jump over their heads, because what I'm doing is I'm multitasking, I'm looking for fuses while the Screebs are killing themselves, because when you jump over their heads they explode, of course. So essentially you're gaining time, whereas if you start clearing the Screebs, right, even with a Super or something, it's pointless, because you're going to not have enough time to get the fuses. And if you get a bad fuse rotation and they're on the outskirts where the trash compactor thing is, you're going to lose it, and you're going to have to reset your rotation and you'll lose a minute. This is the first combat sequence. Now I'll do double pulse grenade where the ads are spawning in, and this is where I want to use Striker Titan just to see how useful it is, because ads do hit hard in this. You'll see that sniper hit me really hard. I don't have effective light on, but I shoulder charge the sniper there, and as you can see I one-shot the orange bar, so that's really nice. Then we'll come back here and get the first Void Captain. There's 3 Void Captains. You see I used the rock there, so I got a kill, got the reload, then threw my fragmentation grenade, and it then just cleared out all those ads. It's a very good grenade. I haven't mastered it, but how you use this grenade, how do you use it? Well, you use it like an incendiary grenade, whatever it's called, on the gunslinger. I'm not pronouncing that right, but you know which grenade I mean. The solar grenade on the hunter. Right, it's not Trip Mine, it's not Swarm, it's the other one. You use it like that, it sort of bounces once or twice. So you want to sort of throw it 2 or 3 feet in front of you, or 2 or 3 feet before the ad, so it sort of does a bounce and then explodes where they are. It's more of a difficult grenade to use because it doesn't explode on impact like a pulse grenade or something. So you've got to master it, but once you do master it, it does a lot of damage. I'll try and use it as much as possible, but there's times when I'm not using it, if I'm being honest, because as I said, I'm timed. I can't just sit here and farm the rock grenades all the time, but I will use it here and there. So with this next sequence, we've got obviously the ogres and things. I'm going to use high energy fight to my best favour here. That's why I finished that champion. You'll see I blinded all the ads. It didn't blind the captain. Sometimes it blinds his captain, sometimes it doesn't. It seems a little bit off. Sometimes it doesn't blind shielded enemies, the shoulder charge. I don't know why. If it was an arc shielded captain, it almost certainly would. So something to do with its solar shield. I'm not sure. But what I'm doing here is farming up charge of lights, because I've got shield break charge on. And I'll get the finisher, because if you get a finisher kill or a melee kill or an ability kill, you don't lose high energy fire. High energy fire is a weapon damage buff. We use the rock grenade. You can see the damage it done to that ultra, which is really good damage for a grenade. Like, make no mistake, that was really good. And then, as I said, we've got the high energy fire still ×2. So what we don't want to kill these Ravengers with weapons. We want to maintain charge of light. I'll use a super here so you can see what top tree striker is doing. It's okay. It's good damage. Obviously, Thunder Crash Titan's going to be way better, right? For an optimized, efficient run, if I was really being serious about it, I would probably go either Sentinel Bubble top tree with my blind and grenade setup that I used to do with Synthoceps, or a Curious of the Star setup with the Lament and then the chest plates, you know, something like that. We use a rock grenade. These screeps spawn every few seconds. When there's ogres up, the 2 ogres, they spawn every now and then. There's 3 spawn at a time. And it's sort of random where they spawn, but they spawn on the top platforms. Still got charge of light, so we'll make the best of that. When we kill 1 ogre, you need to know that there's going to be 3 fresh captains spawning. Right, so I was wanting to spawn kill that captain, didn't work out. So I retreat, use my shoulder charge to get out of there. There's Ravengers spawning as well. I'll come back here, get this kill on the chieftain. It's important you take down the chieftain because they'll just keep up there. They'll just keep putting their suppression move up, whatever it's called. Now we've got loads of Ravengers. It's fine. We can just blind them. You can see that they're sort of suppressed because they've got like a void aura thing above their head to show you that they're actually sort of mini blinded, right? Like what a smoke bomb would do, you know, or blinding grenades. Now we'll finish off the last ogre, which wasn't a problem because, as I said, the high energy fire is really helping out with that. And now we just need the solar captain and the arc. Notice on the first rotation, as soon as I come in the room, I didn't take out the arc captain because there's no point. Once you take out the void and the solar, you get the 2 ogres to spawn in. Now if I was to take out the arc, void and solar, it's pointless because I would still have to take out another arc captain because it refreshes the captains. So in other words, you kill less captains if you just do void, solar, get the 2 ogres to spawn in, do all that, kill the 2 ogres, then just kill the arc captain last. Because obviously you can't proceed. You won't get the next objective until you kill all the ads. Fill up on your ammo and then make your way. I would recommend you want here minimum 14 minutes. I'm at 15-20 there. But anything less than 14 and you're starting to sort of be a bit slow on your runs. But as I said, it just depends on what you're running. There's so much variation with this mission, it just depends. If you're running an optimal Lament build, honestly, you can just speed through the whole thing with Lament. Because passive guards up this season, use a Lucent Blade build, and it just makes the mission so easy. But I've done all that. I've done all the optimized runs. This mission, as I say, when it first came out, I've done all the setups. I've done lots of different setups, different ways of doing this mission. So anytime I come back to it, I like to do it differently. I don't like to retread all the stuff I've already done, because it's kind of pointless to me. Like if I do a lament run right now, it's like I'm kind of cheating there because I've already done that. So and I label that as new content. It's not. You can just look on my channel. I've already done all that stuff. So if somebody wants like the lament run or whatever, just go and watch my old video. It's on there, on the channel. Just watch that. You know, I've already done all that. We'll get a buff here. This pulse rifle is really good on fuses. It's really good in general. It's one of it probably this pulse rifle I've got here has got outlaw kill clip on it, which in my opinion is probably the most reliable roll in my eyes. I mean, I haven't looked at all the perks on it, and there's some new ones, but in my eyes, outlaw kill clip is just what I want from this weapon. I would go as far to say it's the best legendary pulse rifle in the game. It's not the best pulse rifle in the game because obviously there's other things like bad juju and outbreak, but if you don't consider outbreak and stuff like that, the battle of pulse rifle is the best because it doesn't obey a general pulse rifle. The rules of a pulse rifle in this game it has more range, more higher stats. It's got its own unique frame, because obviously it's from Halo. It's same with the Magnum, with the Forerunner. It doesn't obey the normal rules of what a sidearm is. It's more like a hand cannon. It's more like Ariana's Vow. Honestly, it's a mini Ariana's Vow. The problem with this sidearm is it doesn't have any mods built into it. I don't know why they shipped it and they didn't think about putting an intrinsic mod in there. Like, they're already aware that exotics, some are lacking because they haven't got champion mods in it, and then they ship this sidearm that's really good. It's an amazing idea, and why haven't we got Unstoppable built in it? It would make sense, or even Barrier. Any of them, I don't care what they put in it, as long as you add a mod in it. But now we have to rely on sidearm mods, which there is sidearm mods up this season. It's Unstoppable sidearm, but next season, I don't know. I don't know if they're going to have sidearm up. And if it isn't, that means a full season you're not going to use Forerunner in endgame, which is a shame, because it is a good sidearm. We'll get the buff here. Continue on forward. I've got a super, I could use that. I didn't end up doing so. I just wanted to sort of save as much time as possible. I always spawn kill the Screebs at this section just by doing a nade right at that intersection. It takes them all out. It speeds things up a little bit. I've got loads of heavy, loads of ammo to use, and we're gonna refill up on our ammo and everything. So I just spam my linear and stuff and finished off those Unstoppables. I could have used a super there as well. Just whatever suits. You know, it doesn't really make a difference. Take out the final fuse. We're sorted at the boss now, so we're on a good time for the fact of this loadout and stuff. It's not a bad time at all. As I said, 10 minutes a good mark. If you get into the boss in 10 minutes, you just about have enough time to deal with it, the whole thing. So this is how I'm going to do it on this class. Is I'll get a buff here. And then what we're going to do is set up for a shoulder charge, because it will one-shot these snipers. Shoulder charge the sniper, the first one. Then immediately get the fuse. You've got just enough time for this. And then we shoulder charge in there. For the next buff, we stagger one sniper, shoulder charge the other. And it just staggers them. It just stops them from killing you, because I haven't got protective light on. I can get 2-shot sniped, which is a possibility, so I didn't want that happening. And then we'll do a banner, and then we've got full everything now, of course. We also have charge of light, because we didn't kill any of the enemies with our weapons. We were just, you know, mainly focusing, you know, our abilities on those snipers and things. So I can utilize that. The boss is now one immune. We can do a pulse nade here, just to take out all the ads quickly. The idea is just fight from each side. Don't confront too many solar captains at once. It's not much of a big deal, honestly, these solar captains. I'll use Forerunner to snipe them down, which it does really good damage. It does to like mages and things. I could have used surprise attack and went that way, like a full-on sidearm build, but ultimately I wanted other things like Font of Wisdom, you know, so I get increased ability regen. Which I've got it on now. I know I've already got my super, but it's beneficial later on in the fight when you want to use your super. So notice I've got charge of light ×2, so my gun's glowing to signify that. So I'm just going to kill these enemies with my melee abilities, just so I keep it. There's one more stalker, which I generally use this stalker for the rock. So notice I've killed him, and then now I've got the rock. You can see the bottom left-hand corner. There's a big thing about that though, which I'm going to go talk about just in a minute. Well, first we'll do damage. We've got charge of light and particle deconstruction. They stack together. So I'm just doing all my damage. I'll do a rock grenade. I'll do a double pulse, and that's enough damage. That's really good damage actually. I didn't even need my super. My intention was to use a super, but I'd done enough damage to not need to use it. Okay, so now for the next wave, we'll get a shoulder charge here. Should blind most of the ads. Ideally, I should have took out this solar captain first, because it's kind of dangerous. Because on the second wave, if you like, on the second phase, you will get a spawn of screebs. And that can keep going on the longer the solar captains are alive. Like, you'll definitely get one, you generally do get one phase of screebs. But the longer you fight here, the more screebs you get, more additional waves of ads. So it's in your best interest to sort of melt stuff down. I'm using Forerunner as much as possible. We'll get our Solar Knight. Now it's just ads left. Obviously we can get charge of light via our shoulder charge because I've got melee Wellmaker on. Because I've got elemental charge, so when I get that arc well, I get charge of light from that well, which thus gives us charge of light, high energy fire. It's just a point of making sure that you don't forget to lose the buff by killing a random ad. That's the biggest thing. But I will sacrifice one stack sometimes for the rock. I didn't on this phase. But generally, you know, if I kill that stalker, because obviously I need to get a kill with Forerunner to get the rock, I would sacrifice one stack, which isn't a big deal. I double pulse grenade the boss. I'll use a super here, why not? The super's doing okay work, but again, there's definitely better. I'm on this subclass more for the fact that it's shoulder charge capabilities. Because when I come back up here, I can refarm up 2 grenades. Look, because during a DPS wave on the second phase, at least, you'll get additional stalkers spawning top. I can use that to my advantage. Just waiting for the boss to come in. We've got a rock grenade. I don't think it hit though on the boss, which is a shame. On this side you can stand on the pipe and sometimes you can get free damage in if you like. We've got another wave of stalkers. It also benefits to take these out because if you don't, you're going to have a bunch of stalkers on top of the solar knights that spawn on the final phase. So it's in our interest to take them out anyways. We've got our pulse grenade back, both. We'll do some damage at the other end. You always rotate between the 2 ends, because the boss will be aggroed on the last position you were in, that he last saw you. So you can just go to the other end, do some damage, and keep doing it like that. I'll double pulse these ads, why not, just to speed things up. And there'll be some snipers in the middle. I'll quickly take out these snipers and whatnot. This is the spawn of screebs. Just be careful, because even 2 screebs can kill you. 2 explosions of a screeb can just about kill you on this. Despite whatever light level you are, because you can't over level. Even if you come in here at a super high power level and it's only, I believe it's 1320 or whatever it is, or 1310. Can't mind what power this mission is. But it basically caps you out at that power level. Take out the last Solo Captain here. Pulse Rifle putting in really good work. Notice we're close to our super, which is really good. It's kind of beneficial to use it at the end, even though it doesn't do the damage you want it to. It still helps you save. It saves your life from the arc captains. A bunch of arc captains that spawn down below on damage phases. The second switch, the final switch, we'll get the rock going. One thing I didn't mention is when you get the rock, grenade ability energy does not charge beneath the rock. In terms of, you can see now I've lost my 2 grenades, but the charge is underneath that. If you know what I mean. So when you're going for the rock on this particular build, or maybe any build that you're using, get your 2 grenades first, then farm the rock, then get your rock grenade up. That's the key with it. So we use all our grenades on the boss. He's pretty weak. That was really good damage at the end there. He's pretty much one shot. Get a final kill on him. As soon as you get the kill, make sure you get up, because all the ads won't despawn. I mean, I killed all mine, but the ARC captains won't despawn, and they could still kill you and ruin you flawless. But the ads on the top floor do despawn. It's a weird thing. I'm not sure why. But that was the sole flawless on it. Hope you enjoy. Thank you.